An expanded 48-team World Cup means England have even less of an excuse for failing to get out the group stage. It's happened 3 times before, 1950, 1958 and 2014. But for the most part, England have been big hitters on the World Cup stage, going deep in tournament football but ultimately always falling short in the modern era. If the unthinkable happens this summer, it'll be utter chaos. The newspaper columnists will be sharpening their quills and calling for Thomas Tuchel's head. But it won't happen. It can't. And don't go all 𝗦𝗶𝗴𝗍𝗓 here and tell me...
It can.
Of course, it can. But are Panama, Ghana and Croatia going to put up enough of a fight to thwart 𝗬𝗫𝗍𝗓's unbeaten in qualifying Euro 2024 finalists? Really? I'm Joe Donoghue, I write for FourFourTwo and lead our Boys A Bit Special Young Player Scouting series, which you should check out. I don't know why you haven't yet. And I've got the lowdown on the 3 Lions' 3 group stage opponents. To begin with, I'm going to talk about the opponent you probably know least about, Panama. It's got the canal, a skyline that's been dubbed the Dubai of Latin America, take note influencers, pristine islands and beaches, gap yards, incredible biodiversity, and historically, it's where the wealthy would put their money if they didn't want to pay any tax on it, which is everyone rich ever. Football, it's not so well known for. Los Canaleros, literal translation, the Canal Men, are 33rd in the FIFA World Rankings, which is higher than Scotland, Wales and the Republic of Ireland, which is quite remarkable really. They've never won a major trophy, but have reached the final of the CONCACAF Gold Cup on 3 previous occasions, that's North America and the Caribbean's version of the Euros, and qualified for the World Cup once before, in 2018, where you might remember they met England, lost 6-1 and Jesse Lingard milli-rocked. Now this is unconfirmed because I am no seismologist, I believe that's the correct term. But when Panama scored their first goal at the World Cup in that same game, despite being 6-0 down, the celebrations were picked up on local seismographs as an artificial earthquake. So they like their football, they've just not been very good at it. As you might expect, the Panamanian League isn't the best either. And for that reason, only 2 of the players in their 26-man squad currently play their football at home. They do have players whose club sides are all over the world though. Azerbaijan, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay, Honduras, Costa Rica, Turkey, Russia, Venezuela, Slovakia, Israel, Chile, Ecuador, Mexico and Norwich City. His name's Jose Cordoba, for those wondering, and he's a left back. The Panama squad on the whole could be the oldest at the 2026 World Cup. In fact, there's quite a few of these lads who played against England 8 years ago. 13 of their players are aged 30 or older, which includes all 3 goalkeepers, 2 35-year-olds, captain 𝗕𝗫𝗓𝗍𝗓, 36, and real old-timer Alberto Quintero, 38 years young. Probably remembers the canal getting built, he does. Ones to watch. I can't honestly say I've seen any of these players before, except for that previous England encounter, but I'd recommend knowing about the likes of Fidel Escobar, because that's one hell of a name, Amir Murillo, because it sounds a bit like that Peter Kay song from 20 years ago, and he's played for Marseille and Anderlecht Besiktas. There's also Eric Davis, 35, spent 8 years of his career in Slovakia, has over 100 caps and now plays for the Panamanian champs Plaza Amador, who are probably the equivalent of a good National League side. Now, it's been said about me on a football pitch that I will run, but I'm not talented. And I get the feeling we're going to get much of the same from Panama. Lo siento lads, prove me wrong.
Semenyo!
But if none of those names pricked your ears up too much, then a few from the rest of the group are sure to. And that's because England find themselves alongside Ghana, a team who have appeared at 4 of the last 5 World Cups, and it's safe to say are modern African footballing heritage. In 2006, their first appearance, they had Michael Essien, Suleiman Tari and Asamoah Gyan. 4 years later, they went all the way to the quarters before Luis Suarez's cruel handball on the line stopped them becoming the first African country to make the semis. Since then, they've won just once in 6 attempts, all of which in the group stage. This current Ghana side has a real mix of youth and experience. Their preparations for this tournament have obviously been affected by the absence of Mohamed Kudus, who would undoubtedly be the Black Stars' star name if he weren't injured. Of course, though, there is Antoine Semenyo coming off the back of the season of his life with Bournemouth and Manchester City, as well as the experienced striker Iñaki Williams of Athletic Club in Spain. They've also got Jordan Ayew, 𝗵dul-Fatawu, who's been no stranger to the sublime and spectacular whilst with Leicester, and Kamaldeen Sulemana, who on his day can cause you problems from the wing. My issue with this Ghana group is, where are the goals coming from? Semenyo somehow has just 3 international goals in 34 caps. Surely an anomaly, right? You can't stop scoring at club level. It's the same story for Iñaki Williams though, 25 caps and 2 goals. Even Fatawu, 27 caps, only 3 goals. Prior to their final warm-up friendly against Wales, Ghana had lost each of their last 5 games. against South Korea, Japan, Austria, Germany and Mexico. You know, the sorts of teams you're going to come up against at the World Cup. They've not been very good lately, they're not in form, and they even missed out on qualifying for AFCON, finishing bottom of their qualification group with no wins from 6, behind Angola, Sudan and Niger. There's also a one to watch in 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗍𝗫, purely from a transfers perspective. Scouts that I speak to in the game have mentioned him on several occasions, saying he's got the tools to one day become a future Premier League player. 𝗘𝗫𝗏𝗍𝗫 is a great athlete and does it all in the middle of the park. Wins possession, plays passes, tackles, hassles opponents. He's a useful grafter to have in your 11, which is why, for Ghana, he's often played at right back. But is that alone going to be enough to trouble this England team? I think we all know the answer to that. But you came to this channel for something different, and hopefully nobody else has picked out the Danish Superliga youngster in their pre-World Cup analysis. What do you mean The Athletic have done an exclusive with his grandmother? Now, if you've made it this far into the video and you're thinking, yeah, England have got a shot here, hold your horses, because there's an old English World Cup foe lurking. Video aside for a second, here's a hypothetical question for you. Imagine you're on your holidays during the World Cup, or travelling somewhere for work and you can't get your World Cup fix. You've got your TV licence sorted to watch the BBC coverage in the UK, but not abroad, so what do? Well, our office friends at Tom's Guide have the answer, because they've tested a wide range of VPNs, and NordVPN stands out as a strong option. Fast, reliable, and it comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee, enough to cover the entire World Cup, so you can try it risk-free. The best bit? For all FourFourTwo viewers, there is an exclusive offer available. All you have to do is click the link in the description to learn more.
Modric. Now he'll unleash one!
We all know about England versus Croatia. Wayne Rooney at Euro 2004. Gary Neville's own goal in Zagreb. Sol Campbell's never-ending slide tackle. The volley with the brolly, Kieran Trippier's free kick, Mario Mandzukic, Kane not squaring it to Sterling. We all know about England versus Croatia. It's not great history from a three lines perspective, but at least England have beaten Croatia at a major tournament more recently than that semi-final out in Russia. Sod's law and all that in a 48-team World Cup where the collective strength of the groups is poorer than ever, England would draw a team who knocked them out in a World Cup semi-final. There won't be Ivan Perisic and Mario Mandzukic this time around though. Actually, there will be Ivan Perisic because he doesn't age and will still be at a World Cup at 37. Still, not as old as Luka Modric, 41 this year, kicking about at the pinnacle of world football. Class, men are class. Croatia weren't really tested all that much in qualifying, much like England. They went unbeaten, just like England, and finished with a goal difference of +22 from 8 games, exactly like England. Their old guard, Perisic, Ondrej Kramaric and 𝗘𝗫𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏 scored 12 of their goals during qualification. Croatia do have younger players, 19-year-old Luka Vuskovic being one of them. The Spurs defender might be Croatia's answer to Harry Maguire, slab-headage, if you will. And if you want more of a deep dive on the centre-back who spent the past year on loan at Hamburg in the Bundesliga, we've actually got a Boys a Bit special video on him that you need to check out. Basically, do not give away a corner when he's on the pitch, because there's a good chance he'll score from it. Vuskovic is an absolute monster in the air, and it has to be seen to be believed. So it's a good job England have a head coach who probably won't go route one in that opening game at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington or Dallas, and whatever they're calling it, or wherever they're actually playing it. There are other youngsters in this Croatia squad. Igor Matanovic has scored double figures this season in the Bundesliga. Martin Baturina helped Como qualify for the Champions League for the first time in Italy, while cousins Luka and Petr Sucic represent Real Sociedad and Inter Milan. For the most part, this is an experienced, settled squad. It's beatable, but I think it comes as no surprise to anyone that England's first group game will be their toughest, potentially until the round of 16. If you're also coming down with a severe case of World Cup fever, seek professional help immediately and they will prescribe you with one of FourFourTwo's World Cup wall charts. We can't promise it'll alleviate symptoms, it might even worsen them, but we're of the opinion that everyone needs one. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to FourFourTwo on YouTube for daily video updates throughout the World Cup. You should also follow FourFourTwo on Instagram and TikTok for some boots on the ground reporting from the United States. We'll be out there covering the first kick to the last and we'd love to have you with us. Get in the comments and let us know what you thought about this video. Until next time, bye for now.